Okay, let's go.
Well, hi friends of the Coachella Valley. Jose here from the New Mindset. So I love my team. My team is really good at getting me these awesome interviews that I don't really see coming. And this last one's brought to you by Mr. Mark Olea. I'm on the phone. This is kind of untraditional. Usually here we interview people in the Coachella Valley. Today we are with the one and only Miss Maddie. I'm going to butcher this completely. Monahan. I hope I didn't. Yes. From Maddie's Mickey Magic. Maddie, thank you so much for being on the show. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Yeah, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. You know what? It's funny that I rarely do I get a chance to sit down and actually have a coffee instead of my usual buzz box when I'm doing these interviews. It's just a little early this morning. That's a great choice. So Maddie, thank you so much for taking some time to chat with us today here in the Coachella Valley. But let me ask you the very first question I ask all my guests is, where are you from? Obviously, you're not from the Coachella Valley. Can you tell us a little bit of where you're from?
Yeah, so I currently live in Charleston, South Carolina, but I am originally from Jackson, Mississippi.
Okay, so did you grow up in Jackson?
Yes, yeah. I grew up in Jackson until I was about 17, and then that's when my mom got remarried, and with his work, that kind of moved us out here to Charleston.
I call my high school years my formative years. That's kind of where you discover who you are and like what you're gonna do in life. Sometimes not really. Sometimes it takes a little longer. But let me ask you about you in a little bit in the past and before you became who you are today and being a blogger or influencer, whichever the title is correct. But so do you have siblings, by the way?
I do. I have 6.
Stop. Go back.
I'm the oldest.
Whoop, whoop. You're the oldest. I'm the oldest of 5.
Oh, cool, yeah.
You beat me by 1. Oh, man. It's crazier being the oldest one, huh?
Yeah.
What was your experience?
Definitely being the oldest. I feel like I can sometimes be a little bit of the more competitive one. And,
yes.
Always just like the one that has to be a little bit more responsible, and help take care of the others.
I know. Isn't it awesome to just like, that's in the back of your head? I don't have enough responsibilities. You adults.
Yeah.
Did you ever do sports in high school?
Oh, yeah. I definitely grew up a huge athlete. I did cheer, gymnastics, dance. Nice. I was on competitive teams with all of that. So sports was a huge part of my life. I'm actually a personal trainer now. So.
Oh, really?
So I took all that with me into adulthood.
That's amazing. I've always thought of sports as the best way of learning how to kind of be in the real world. Sometimes that's what they teach you, right? Your coaches kind of like hit you with, you got to do all the hard work or you're not going to get anything from it.
Yeah, for sure. It definitely, I think, is a great way to help, build character and all that.
Now, aside from that, did you ever do anything like theater-wise or like, were you ever in public speaking or anything like that?
No. So I did take a little theater when I was younger, and it was always my dream to be an actress as a kid. I was super into, grew up super into Broadway and musicals and theaters, and I wish I had a better singing voice, or probably would.
What's your favorite?
Pursue something like that.
What's your favorite musical?
What's my favorite musical? Oh man, I would probably. There's so many good ones. But I'm going to go ahead and just say Wicked because that was the first one that was ever introduced to me. And I just love Defying Gravity. That's like one of my favorites.
Oh man, that's I definitely try to sing at a karaoke. I'm not the best at it. That's probably not my strength.
Like to sing. Yeah. I still like to sing. Yeah. Even though I'm not great at it.
Have you ever had a chance to be on stage at all? I know you said you dabbled in it a little bit.
So I was in theater in middle school and high school. So just performing little things like that. Outside of that, really just, did performances with like cheer and dance and all that.
Okay. So, I would assume, did you go to college as well?
So I only went to college for a little bit.
Okay.
I went to Ole Miss, which is the University of Mississippi.
To circle it back to what you do today, because you're a blogger and influencer, you're actually becoming a public figure, believe it or not. I mean, I don't know if you think of yourself as that, but
I don't. Yeah, it's still just so new, and it's just it's kind of like surreal. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Tell me about when you first started your channel. So the reason we're talking today, you have a fantastic channel. Actually, you blog about a lot of stuff, but a lot of it is your own personal life. You basically have opened the door for people to see what it is that you do on the every other day or so, however much that you post. I know I know sometimes people see in through the doors and it's like, this is what I'm doing today. But what gave you that incline? Where did you kind of start that? How long ago have you started this?
Yeah, so let's see. So, I mean, I have a Disney page. I'm a Disney creator and travel agent. I grew up my entire life just, loving Disney. I didn't really get to go to the parks all that much growing up. I mean, I maybe went once when I was 12. Since then, I've been many times as an adult. But yeah, always been a huge fan of Disney. And so, as an adult going to the parks more, I was like, I love this. And I can be very type A, so I love planning things. I love planning vacations and things like that. And I just get so much joy out of planning like a trip for people and then them come back to me and just tell me how much fun they had, what an amazing time they had, and just seeing how thankful they are. And it's just, I love it. I love, being able to help their children have magical times at Disney. And it just takes me back to when, I was a kid at Disney, and I just love it. So I became a travel agent, and then, I'm like selling packages to my friends and family members and things like that. But I was like, you know what, if I really want to, be able to reach more people, I'm probably going to have to be on social media. So that was why I initially started the page.
Oh, I see. Do you remember how long ago it's been?
So I probably created the page maybe about 3 years ago, but I really, was kind of off and on with being consistent with it. Life just gets kind of busy sometimes, but I really focused myself into being more consistent with it probably within the past 9 months.
Oh, wow. So you really have just been hitting it this year.
Yeah.
Okay. So how did you?
Last December, I had like 300 followers, and now we're at like almost 11,000 and growing.
Congratulations. That's amazing. That's fantastic growth. I mean, honestly, a lot of it is the work you put into it, right?
Mm-hmm. It really is.
how much time does it take you from the original idea to the end product? How much time span is that for you?
Oh my goodness. You mean like for a specific just like idea, like video?
Sure. And most people think of them as just, little blogs, but sometimes you got to think that through and like, what's that process for you?
Right. Yeah, I would say it's just a compilation of just several hours. I mean, from the time, like, if you're including the time it takes to film as well. I mean, I usually, I don't live in Florida. So when I go to Disney, I really have to plan these things out and be really intentional about what I'm doing when I'm there. So I can, gather enough footage and content to be able to come back and showcase it for everybody. So I do a lot of time brainstorming and planning for different ideas. Like, okay, I want to be able to go to this restaurant and talk about this, or I'm going to go to this hotel and review it, and tips on how to do early entry, all the things. So I do a lot of brainstorming. I go and film it, come home, and then to edit it and put it out there, I probably knock that out within like an hour or so. But it's just definitely a compilation of many hours.
Yeah. You really summarized. You summarized it as I truly understand. From one content creator to another, how long sometimes isn't it true when you first started, it would take you like days for one video?
Right.
You kind of get used to the process. You get
better and better at it. So I'm getting better and better all the time. But it's slow going in the beginning. And then, sometimes even with like ideas and you're like, oh, what should I post? Like you get in this analysis paralysis.
Oh my gosh.
I'm bad about that.
Oh, you're very much a thinker. You got to think it through, and when you see a mistake, you're probably such a perfectionist that you kind of go, oh, no, do it again.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's really good. It's a fantastic quality to have, actually, to be honest with you. Some people just kind of put it out without thinking about it, and some of us need to think it through a little bit more as the brand.
It can be a blessing and a curse sometimes.
Oh, 100%. Well, before we cut the commercial, let me ask you one more question. So you're usually at the Disney World Resort, right? Which is one in Florida. Have you been to the one here in California?
No, but I'm super excited because I just planned our first trip out there. So we will be there in April, and I'm super excited. Yeah, we'll be staying at the Disneyland Hotel.
Oh, you're gonna love it. Okay, it's a little difficult. I don't know if you're gonna understand what I'm gonna tell you, but here in California, I don't know a person that has not gone to Disneyland ever. Or has maybe you're like a younger kid or like in middle school, probably you've never had the chance to, but you'll eventually be there. Everyone goes to Disneyland. It's just a Cali thing,
Right.
You're not in Cali if you don't go to Disney, and it's just so fun to see somebody like you blog about the places that we can't go to, because we're not used to going to the Florida one. And something you're gonna find, as I understand, this is, like I said, I've never been to the Florida one. What I understand is you're going to be done with the park within probably like 4 hours, since you're so used to the walking around that you have in Florida. It's like triple the size. Yeah, it's just the nostalgia factor for us that really keeps us coming back. And to give you a tip from me to you, if you can get the magic hour in, that 8 a.m. and get to Peter Pan ride, get it done. Once you knock that out, do the rest. That's the hard one. That's the tough one to get into.
Yeah, same for Walt Disney World. Yeah, Peter Pan's a really popular one.
It always, oh my gosh, that's crazy to hear.
Yeah, it's that nostalgia factor.
It is, 100%. Well, let's cut to a quick commercial. When we come back, let's talk a little bit more about what's going on today. We'll be right back. Well, hi, friends of Coachella Valley. Jose here from The New Mindset. I have a very special message to you from Chief Andrew Mills from the Palm Springs Police Department. Him and his team have been working to recognize youth out there, and maybe you can help. Check it out.
Hi, I'm Sandy Newton, and we are so happy that our stations have teamed up with the Palm Springs Police Department and the Walter Clark Legal Group to honor the youth in our community that are making an impact through their attitude, behavior, and community service.
Join us in celebrating this month's Do the Right Thing featured link.
Do you know a local kid you'd like to nominate?
That's right. If you do, head over to KESQ.com and click Do the Right Thing.
Sponsored by the Walter Clark Legal Group.
All right, we're back here with Maddie. Maddie from Mickey Magic. Tell me a little bit about what's going on today. The reason you and I are talking is recently your account came under a little bit of distress and whatnot, and you and I already talked about this a little bit. And by all means, you're welcome to talk anything you want, and we don't need to touch the subject if you don't want to. But it definitely was something that I have to agree with you in saying that every now and then a parent needs a break. You're a mother, and you have so much responsibility to your channel, to your people, to your kids. So I can only imagine that going through something like that is kind of like, you're dealing with it. So tell me a little bit about that, if you can.
Yeah. So like you kind of said, I posted a video on my account, really not thinking anything of it when I first posted it. I guess, I don't know, maybe I should have been more aware of the controversy that it would spark.
Yeah. Why didn't you think ahead? How could you?
It was just like a funny little idea I had, and I threw it out there. And funny thing is I didn't even really even think the video was that good. I was like, this is probably not going to get any attention. It has a complete opposite reaction. But like I said, I plan these Disney trips out where I can go, and it's just like strike mission. I'm trying to go and just get as much footage and content as I can. And at Walt Disney World, it was the opening weekend of Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. We have food and wine and all that stuff. And so, I wanted to go and film those things. And, we go on tons of trips, with the kids, but, it's August, in Florida. And I was like, with how busy I'm going to be on this trip, filming everything, and, and how hot it's going to be. My daughter actually got sick one time when we went in August. So I was like, you know what? Yeah, I was like, I don't think this is a good trip to take them. Yeah. So I felt a little bad about that. And, I felt guilty, and, I talked to the kids. I told them why I was going, because they see me filming the videos and doing all that fun stuff.
Right.
And so they know what I'm trying to do with it and everything. So they were really fine. They were okay that I was going. And so I had a funny idea, though, before I left. I was like, you know what? Let me film really my feelings of feeling guilty about going. I'm the one crying in the video, not the kids.
That's true. Yeah, I didn't think about that. You're right. Yeah, I didn't think about that.
I was pretending because I wasn't physically crying.
Of course.
So it's supposed to represent, me feeling bad about going was the first part of the video.
Yeah.
And then cut to, I'm in Epcot with a drink in my hand, there's music playing. And I'm like, you know what? Everything's all good. The kids are fine. I'm fine. I should just be able to relax and let loose without them, and have fun in my happy place, which is Disney. And that is the video that's just funny. Sparked it all.
That is funny.
So some people had a huge problem with that, that I would dare to go to Disney without the kids, just calling me the worst mom in the world. I think, so I was on Inside Edition. I was literally the headline, Mom receives backlash. They're calling her the worst mom in the world. But then the funny thing is, after I was on Inside Edition, that is when my Disney army came. But it was several weeks there where, I was just getting, every time I would come on my Instagram, it just was hundreds of negative comments. So there's people liking the video too, but I just think the people who liked it weren't being as vocal, whereas the people who had a problem with it were being really vocal. So after that interview came out, I had a ton of people, and I still have people commenting every day, just, defending me and telling me, what I did is, totally fine, totally normal. People do it all the time, like you said, in California. It's such a way of life, for you guys over there. And I guess just, the people who don't get it just don't get it, but the people who do,
Agreed.
So.
And like we said before, a lot of times content creators, we open a bit of our life to the world so they see what we do. We like to showcase what we do. I think it's worth saying that your content is very family friendly, and everything you have in there and everything that you do is very much oriented in the sense of hey, this is the trip I'm doing, or you have a series going on that I'm absolutely in love with, by the way. I'm definitely going to try one of those cocktails. You have a series going on where you're trying out the foods that come in those books, so that the Disney park foods or what have you, and very much so you truly are just a person that's trying to put out this good in the world. And sometimes people just have their own thoughts about it, and when it comes down to it, seeing your page and talking to you on and off camera or what have you, it's been nothing but pleasant. You're a fantastic individual, and I can only imagine you're a great responsible adult person and mom to your kids, of course.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you so much. Even though I did point out that this trip was essentially a work trip, and yes, I did have fun on it, but my message in that video was to encourage other moms or parents, what have you, caretakers, don't feel guilty about leaving the kids, at home to take time for yourself, whatever that may be, whether it is going to Disney without the kids, don't feel guilty about that. I just know so many parents that work so hard, and then they feel guilty taking that time away. So that was my ultimate message in the video. And even though I did go for a work trip, I feel like that shouldn't be what justifies it. I feel like you should, feel comfortable to be able to do that no matter what the reason is.
Well, 100%. And whether you find it in a place like Disneyland or going to the movies. I mean, sometimes that what do we call that? Mental health, I guess. What that break?
Right, exactly.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a mental break and help. And sometimes you're sitting there and you're at work or whatever. I mean, there's a reason why there's regulated 30-minute breaks or 10-minute breaks, right? You need to step away from what you're doing so that you don't get too flustered and then come back and it's almost like you're fresh after a 10-minute break from your everyday work or what have you. So yeah, I agree with you that it's very much people should be able to take a little break. And again, we're not saying leave your kids alone and not pay attention. Obviously not. You take you're able to do that. You and your partner, whomever, you obviously put it together. It's not like the kids were left alone in the house without any food or anything.
Right. I mean, there with dad.
Of course. So again, if you are able to and have the capability of taking a break, please do so. Your mental health is more important than any opinion anybody else has.
Right.
So I agree with you. I appreciate the message you're giving out. That really is very important to give out. Thank you for that. That's really awesome.
Yeah, I just wanted to add that last little bit because that was kind of the true message of the video too.
Well, that's fantastic. And although we have a few more minutes of this segment where we're talking about today. I know we just talked about the controversy part. Tell me a little bit more about what you're doing. Tell me about, you already let me know a bit about your next trip, but like this page itself, you said is for tips and tricks and all this other stuff. Tell me more about what you want this page to be today.
Right. Yeah. So like I said, it was born out of, me being a travel agent and trying to, reach more potential clients. And whether you buy a package from me or not, I ultimately just want to help people out as much as they can, just because, you dump so much money and time and energy into these trips, and all you ultimately want at the end of it is just to have a good time with your family. You want, if I can help save somebody from, some kind of disaster or whatever, mistake that, whatever it is, I would love to be able to do that. One of my videos that actually did really, really well, it was on a topic about something that I looked around, I'm like, you know what? You don't ever hear any other Disney creators talking about this, or Disney ever really mentioning this much. And it was about our Halloween party, like I said. And so what a lot of people don't think about is that, let's say they booked their trip for, any time from August to October. And they did that back in like the spring. So they're not thinking, since then, Disney has come out with their dates for the Halloween party night, and they've got their ticket spot for Magic Kingdom, blah, blah, blah. And then they show up to Magic Kingdom that night, and they're like, hey, you actually, don't have tickets to the party tonight, so you're going to have to leave at 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
But then, because that happened to our family one time, my mom went there with my daughter. They showed up at 4 o'clock, and they're like, hey, ma'am, just to let you know, the party is in 2 hours. And, and they had hopes to, watch the fireworks that night. And for some people, this could be their only chance to ever get to see
you're right.
It's such a huge staple, to going to Disney, going to Magic Kingdom. And yeah, I've just heard so many sad stories about people, that happening to them. They have no idea that the Halloween party, was going on, and they needed tickets, and we're going to get kicked out at a certain time. So that's just one example of just some of the tips and things like that I'm trying to put out there to help people with their vacations.
That's actually very helpful and very insightful, because you're right. The first time it happened to me, my first time, I was oh my gosh, it was 4 years ago or something, 3 years ago. We went to the one that happened here, but I see you're right. There's some type of miscommunication at some level. I don't know why. You're absolutely correct. I wish I had somebody like you to have instructed me and be like, hey, the park's gonna close, and before you are gonna even get a chance to enjoy anything. We thought we were gonna sit through Fantasmic and enjoy it and have a good time, and nope, park closes at 6. What? That's crazy. I literally paid for this. But yeah, that's awesome. Well, let's cut to a quick commercial, and let's segue into what's going on in the future. We'll be right back. Did you know that up to 80% of adults have stretch marks or scars? The new mindset of the Coachella Valley brings you JD Aesthetics, where they delve into the world of skin camouflage, stretch mark removal, and scar revision. Licensed paramedical tattoo specialist Joanna Davila Rios has a simple mission in mind: to help everyone embrace their natural beauty.
Enter New Conceal, a revolutionary skin tone correction treatment using tattoo technology. Joanna is certified to perform this incredible procedure, utilizing new skin tone reduction device and application to achieve precise color matching for seamless results. Join us as we explore the artsy and science behind the New Conceal technology. This beautiful coverage empowers individuals to love their skin that they're in.
Joanna brings personalized care and professionalism expertise to her clients.
Thank you so much, and we hope to see you soon.
And for more information, don't forget to visit jdaestheticsllc.com. And now let's get back to the show. All right, we're back here with Maddie. Maddie, we've talked about your past. We've got some information about what's going on today. But let me ask you about what's going on tomorrow. Tell me what's happening, what's going on with your channel. How are you moving in the next, few hours, in the next day, months, years? It looks like your life's moving quite fast. So what's your plan for what's coming up?
So really, a lot has been happening lately with, popularity with the page. And so I feel like I'm just in such a big, transitional period with the page. We've been at, a certain level for so long. And now I feel like this is really me jumping into this spaceship to send it into hyperdrive, you know? So
Yeah.
I've got a few things, you know, that I'm working on. You know, one thing, you know, like I said, I just want to help people on the page. And, you know, an idea that I had a while ago was like, you know what, I would really love to have my own Amazon store. You know, so, you know, people ask me all the time, oh, where'd you get this hat? Oh, like, what do you use? Yeah. You know, what you put in your park bag? What are things that you bring for the kids? Things like that. I was like, you know what, I would love to be able to just have that all in one spot for you guys so that you can go and grab it on your trip and just be another, you know, helpful tool for people going on their vacations.
Yeah.
So I'm just, you know, kind of trying to work on a little like Amazon store right now. Just got that. And then, yeah, I do have a trip coming up in the future in November that I'm really excited about. It's going to be opening weekend of Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party and Jollywood Nights. So I'm going to go and, get loads of, you know, tips and footage and things like that for all my followers that weekend. But yeah, I mean, I'm just so excited to keep growing this page, and, you know, so many fun things have already kind of opened up for me since getting, you know, a little bit more popularity. So I'm really just kind of sitting here with, you know, such a grateful heart, first of all, and just kind of sitting here like with my arms out wide.
That's awesome.
Waiting for even more like amazing things to happen, because I know I can't even possibly imagine or fathom some of the amazing things that, you know, are going to happen to me. So I'm just, so grateful to everything that has happened. And, you know, and I owe it all to God as well. I am a Christ follower. I do pray constantly, and I do always just, you know, leave it in his hands to help me, because I couldn't do it without him, you know?
It's very true what they say when they say he works in mysterious ways.
Mm-hmm.
And I truly, truly believe that. I agree with you. I think a lot of it has to do with the faith that you put into, all the work that you put into. It's a mix of the two. You really, truly have opened a door for yourself, and I do believe that it'll only continue to open wider, and you're going to be able to go through this crazy adventure. I hope you're ready for it.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I mean, my dream, I would like absolutely die if I was like one day invited to, you know, they have like the social media events like for creators in the industry, and I would just like fall out if that ever happened to me. So that is like what I've really been working up to as well. I would love to work alongside Disney and Universal, or, you know, any other, you know, brands that are related to this industry. I just think that would be absolutely amazing.
Well, when you start putting it out, you know, keep putting it out, keep praying about it. As you know, sometimes that is the best way to go about it. Once you start putting it out there, it's going to start coming back towards your way, and you're on the right path. That is for sure. When the YouTube influencing channels start coming out to Coachella Festival or LA Fest at the YouTube arena, hopefully we are able to also invite you with the mindset so we can all meet up and we can introduce you to some awesome friends of ours.
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
Yeah, of course. Now, Maddie, one more question. So your page continues to grow. You continue to be successful in what you do. If tomorrow you're able to take the page into another level, what would that level be?
Wake up tomorrow and be like Disney, Universal, social creator, making content. The Amazon store is pumping, ready to go. Like that would be amazing.
It's a lot of plans, of course. Yeah, no, like I said, it's not an easy question because it's hard to plan ahead when everything's happening so fast. It's always good to, you know, it's
like
exactly
right now. I'm like in the middle of like what I guess I'm trying to do. Like right now that I haven't even thought like, okay, and then what after that?
Right. That's a tough part. That's a really tough part. And hopefully,
I guess I've just been like I like have my head down and I'm like grinding right now. So.
Well, that's always good. It's always good to know that you realize that there's hard work ahead and you're starting to do it now, so you can get caught up then. Well, Maddie, before we go off to our last segment here, just a quick recap on that. A few episodes back, I think I already told you this story, but my youngest brother Eric reached out to me to let me know that he wanted to become a DJ after listening to one of my podcast episodes. And I was very kind of shocked. It took me back a little bit. I didn't even know my family listened to my podcast, so thank you guys for doing that. Thanks to him, I realized, wow, you never know who's going to listen. You know, there's people all over the world that tune in to this podcast, and I'm very happy to do this next segment that I call the Pearls of Wisdom. I'm going to ask you to give us some tips and tell us how we can do something like what you did. Sound good to you?
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, let's cut to a commercial. We'll be right back with that part. At every episode, I make sure my guest has my favorite drink in hand, BuzzBox. My favorite is the perfect margarita, and today we invited somebody from headquarters, Alicia, to tell us what her favorite is and why.
Hi, I'm Alicia here at BuzzBox headquarters, and if you ask me what my favorite cocktail is, I'd have to say the Tequila Paloma. From the sweet grapefruit to the zing of the lime, all you have to do is shake the box, pour it over ice, and it's ready to drink. Like having your very own bartender, BuzzBox is ready to serve you.
So if you don't already, follow us on Instagram at The New Mindset OTCV. You'll find our link tree with the direct link to our code for a 20% off on your next purchase.
Wow.
Find your flavor today. Now let's get back to the show. And we're back here with Maddie. Maddie, this is a difficult task I'm going to ask you. And by all means, take your time, because there's no real, I don't believe there's a real set of steps or guide to do anything really in life. Sometimes it's chance, sometimes it's prayer, sometimes it's believing that you can achieve more than you are achieving today. So it takes a lot of, perseverance. That being said, what would you, if you could put it in words, if you could describe it, if you could share with us, what would be some tips to, maybe be a better content creator, or maybe be more, kind of scheduling and putting it actually out there, and how do you get better if your videos are kind of, you're not kind of in love with them? How would you start getting better? And what would you say would be a good guide?
Yeah. So really, if I had to just boil it down to one word, I would say consistency. And I mean, isn't that just like what you got to do with almost anything in life? With personal training, if you want to reach your goals, consistency. It's just a matter of just doing it. And as a matter, the more you kind of do things and get more comfortable with it, whether it's, we're just putting together videos, like B-roll footage, which is, you just like taking regular videos with your camera, or then you flipping that camera around and talking like face to camera, like that can be uncomfortable for people. Just keep doing it, keep getting more comfortable with it. And, don't be afraid, just go for it. And honestly, just be you, be authentic. I always just think it's really helpful too, is just to write all your ideas down and keep them in one place so that you can always kind of come back to those thoughts and ideas. And the more, you can then develop those thoughts into what you really want to do. But honestly, especially when it comes to creating content, you really just have to just work on it every day and, just consistently put yourself out there. And it's, it'll be slow moving at first, but but then you'll start to pick up traction for sure. That's really good.
That is the perfect way to end it. You're absolutely correct. I do believe in that as well. You got to put some, would you say that you have to put some faith behind it as well?
100%. Yeah, a little faith and pixie dust for sure.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh, that was really good.
I know. Because believing in yourself, believing in your dreams. I'll just go ahead and say this. I have always just felt like internally, inside me since I was a little girl, I've just always had big dreams to be just someone big one day. You know what I mean? Whatever it is, I want to shake things up in a positive way. I want to, I want to move the earth in a positive way. I want to reach people and be able to help them, and and be just a force to reckon with. And again, like I said, all in positive ways. And I've just always had this tug on my heart that just kept, just been the driver that just kept pushing me forward. And and again, just if you have a dream with something, do not give up on that dream. Just, pray about it, do whatever you need to do, manifest it. I do believe in thoughts become things,
right.
Those goals that you have, write them down, put it in a photo collage. That stuff it really does help. The more you can visualize it and speak about it and do all those things, the more, the closer and closer you're going to get to those dreams becoming a reality.
That's awesome. Well, Maddie, I fantastic message. thank you for sharing those words of inspiration with us and with my listeners. And we'll have to leave this conversation at this. And then I really do appreciate you. We're going to reach back out to you. And if there's anything that the podcast could ever do for you when you're out in California, Disneyland, please give us a call. We'd be happy to meet up with you and take you behind the scenes with some things. Disney is full of magic, and so are the people that attend it. And every person that I've talked to that loves Disney loves people. That's something that's, easy to correlate. So thank you for all your wonderful words. Thank you for inspiration. And to you, the followers, we want to say thank you for tuning in. If you're listening this morning, have a great day. And if you're listening at night, have a great night. Thank you for your time. Bye-bye.